Hi, my name is Taylor, and I have a Christmas party coming up in about 2 weeks, and I don't have a dress yet. I live in Canada, so it gets pretty cold this time of year, and I want to make sure that I have a dress that is going to be warm, but still looks nice for this Christmas party. So I figured, why not just make the dress myself? So come along with me while I make a Christmas party dress. So here's the design that I'm going to go with. I have an asymmetrical off the shoulder top, and I'm gonna have it come to about mid-calf with a slit in the side, and I'm gonna have it be long sleeve because, as I said, I live in Canada and it gets cold here. Hello, so I am back from the fabric store. It is a day later and I have picked out the fabric that I'm going to use. So I'll just show you the color up close. It's a brown color, okay? And I think it would look really, really nice against my skin tone as well. So now we are going to get into making the pattern for the dress. Okay, so I have laid out my fabric and I have placed a dress on top. So I don't have any pattern paper right now. So I'm actually just going to be using a dress that I know fits me well. And I will be making it a little bit bigger. This fabric that I have bought is not as stretchy as the dress I'll be using. So I do have to adjust the sizing a little bit, but that will be okay. And another point is I am cutting my fabric on the bias. So the bias is where your fabric stretches the most, just so that we have enough stretch to the garment. So let's get started. Here I am going to be taking the measurements for the dress. So as you can see, I have the dress pattern already laid out on the fabric. And I am adding some inches to the sides to allow it to fit my body correctly. And then what I'll be doing is I will be just shaping the dress to the length that I want it. And then I will be cutting out the pattern. I'll be cutting out half and then folding the other half over just to make sure that everything matches up nicely. And then once I do that, I will be making the other panel of the dress. So then my last step will be pinning the panels together, and then we will go into sewing them. machine is turning out crazy stitches like this, it can actually mean that your sewing machine is dirty and it just needs to be cleaned. So I'm currently going to take apart my sewing machine and give it a good clean. When you're cleaning your sewing machine, make sure you get in every nook and cranny, because look, oh my goodness, that is craziness. I have not cleaned it as nearly much as I should have. So yes, that can be a huge reason why, even though you have the proper stitch settings, your machine is not doing what you're telling it to. So make sure you get in there. Okay, as you can see, these stitches came out a lot cleaner. I still think I have some settings to mess around with, but I think this is way better than what we were having before. Okay, here what I have done is taken the measurement of my shoulders, the circumference around my shoulders. Then I have taken that measurement and halved it, and that is where the seams are going to be at each half, so at each of my shoulders. And here you will see I have the two arrows laid out because that's the shape I should have cut the top to allow for shoulder movement, but I actually cut out straight down square panels. So this is the first time I'm making this shape top, so I actually had no idea that making square panels would not allow for shoulder movement, and I should have thought of that, but I just didn't. So yeah. So what I have just finished doing is cutting out the panels that will then be folded in half and sewn together at the sides here to act as my off the shoulder top. So I've cut out two pieces that look like long rectangles. So two long rectangles, okay? And I'll be folding both of them. So that way I will have my seams at the side of my shoulders when they're sewn together, okay? And then I will be sewing this piece onto the existing body of the dress that I have already finished sewing, and it will make a lot more sense. I'm gonna try it on once I get the shoulder pieces sewn on, but so far everything is coming together as I've planned, so let's get to sewing. Okay, so as you can see, I have finished sewing one side of the side seams together, and I have left my pins in, showing you that you can sew over your pins horizontally. So let's start sewing the other side. Okay, so I do have both end seams sewn together. Now what I'm going to be doing is we are going to be flipping this in half, okay? So I obviously will find the center point and take the two ends, put them together, and have it half, okay? So that this nice, beautiful edge, folded edge, is sitting at the top of my shoulders, and this raw edge will be hidden. We will sew that into our dress. So it's all gonna be hidden, it's all gonna work out. Okay, so I have put on the shoulder piece now, so it actually sits really nicely on my shoulders. It has that asymmetrical diagonal look that I was going for. And now I am actually going to move on to focusing on the body of the dress. So what I did when I was cutting out the pattern, I had made the back piece a little bigger than the front piece. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to be able to tailor it, add some darts, or do any gathering that needed to be done in order to have it fit my body really nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into that right now. Okay, so I have finished taking in the sides so that it fits my body. Now, originally I was going to do some gathering in the dress, but I decided it would actually just be easier to make the dress fit nice and close to my shape. And because the fabric is stretchy, I made sure that I have room so that when I eat food at this Christmas party, it will not, feel too uncomfortable. So I made sure to leave lots of room. Now, as you can see, I have the shoulder piece on nicely. Now, there are just some alterations I have to do in the back. It's not sitting quite the way I want it. As you can see, there's some gapping in the front as well. So that's very easy. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go in this under piece right here and gather it. That way it's a little bit tighter to my chest. And then additionally, I actually ended up changing up the design with the bottom of the dress. I removed the slit and I actually added on a extra little piece on the hem. So when I'm completed the dress, I will be showing that to you guys. So let's move on into finishing up those last little pieces. Here is my finished product of the dress. As you can see, I have my earrings that I've made to go with the dress, and I have the shoulder piece draping nicely just the way I want it over my shoulders. I also have added a nice band to the bottom of the dress, and I think this makes it look really nice and classic. As well, you will see in the original design that I drew, I had sleeves. I've decided to take this out because I think the shoulder piece needed a moment for itself, and I think it looks incredible. The dress was really comfortable to wear for the Christmas party, and you'll see some photos of me at the Christmas party coming up. So thank you so much for following me along on this journey.